believe it's episode 46 of Football Manager 2015 with Aston Villa. We are in the 14th of August 2021 here, another new season we embark upon. And this is our first season with a new skin, as you can see. This is the Steclo X5, I believe. I'll leave a link in the description, hopefully. You can get it from Sorted Out SI. It looks pretty nifty, I have to say, from what I've played of it so far. And I'm quite enjoying it. Anyway, last year was a bit of a disappointing year, though. If we have a look at the chart, yeah, finishing in 8th place, a real kind of hit down from the 3rd place we managed the previous year, the lofty heights we managed there. Like to hit back down to 8th place another year without Europe is disappointing, because we actually didn't look too bad in the Champions League. Like, we romped our group stage, our really tricky group stage in the Champions League, and we absolutely romped it. And then we just fucked up against Shakhtar, which was really disappointing because it was there for the taking. But we don't have any European football, which is disappointing, but that will mean we've got extra time to really try and mount a charge for Champions League again this year, and that's my aim. Despite our media prediction, I think our media prediction is 6th. I'll have a quick look here. Of course, a few games already played. We're playing the last match. We're playing the half-5 on Saturday here, opening game of the season against Tottenham Hotspur, who are expected to come 5th. So it's 6th v 5th according to the predicted finishes. Man U predicted to do a double. No, not do a double. Win 2 in a row. Anyway, so there's been a bit happening because I had to kind of shuffle things around. As you can see here, Jack Grealish is now the new club captain, which I think is the right way to go. He's a good player, Jack, Irishman. He's been the most loyal servant, I think, to the club in this save. He was there right at the start and has played probably the most overall games, I suspect. He's played around 240 league games for us during this time, which is a monumental effort. But he's now the new club captain. Timo Hornwijs, Balanta's our key player still, so he's still at the club. But there are a few that have left, and I'll show you guys them. So as you can see, it's been a little bit lopsided. We only brought in 11.75 million's worth, but we did sell 44 million's worth. Wellington, who you'll see in a second, and Jason Hughes went out on loan. A fair amount of free transfers again. Not a lot of these guys. You probably wouldn't have heard of. Scott Schaefer's did leave on a free. He's gone to Middlesbrough under 21s in the Championship. Yeah, he was the guy we brought from New Zealand. Never really worked out for him, unfortunately. Paul Hahn also. He's gone to MK Dons now. He wasn't too bad. Again, we bought for 1 million from SV Ried in Austria. Him and Manfred Götze came in at the same time, but as Götze's kind of really excelled, Paul Hahn never really turned into it, and he left on a free. So did Oliveira. This was a real kick in the teeth because he was always a good player, but we could never get his work permit, which was just such a kick. It was such a kick in the teeth. So he never played a game for the club in the 2 years he was here for. After signing for 235k, he went on a free to Sao Catano. Can't say I know them. Carl Bastak going out on loan. But then the 3 main sales. First one was David Santon for 3.5 million to Real Betis. 30 years old, he's getting on. He's on high enough wages for the role he was fulfilling in the club as just a backup player. He was on a lot of money for that. And I think we're still paying him some money because he wouldn't take his a full wage cut to go to Betis, so we have to pay him until his contract was meant to expire here at Villa, which I think is in a year or two's time. Brought him in for 8.5 million, so we have made a considerable loss of 5 million, but nonetheless, he was a solid enough servant. But last year he just didn't make those starts that I suppose he has to justify the wage he was on. And so we let him go for 3.5 million, which was probably the best we could get for him at the age he is and at the player he is these days. Second biggest one to depart was Joris Sakore for 12.5 million, one of the most loyal servants at the club. Again, similar story. He was a solid enough campaigner for us, a 5, possibly even 6 first team seasons for the man, at near enough to 7s all the way through. But last year, only 4 appearances in the league, 8 overall. He wasn't getting happy. He was looking for kind of pastures new, looking for a new challenge, and Bologna stumped up 12.5 million for him, which, like, I offered him out, I think, for 15. They came in with 12.5, which looked like the best we were going to get, because there were a few who weren't offering anywhere near that. They were offering around the 6-7 million mark, and I wasn't going to get rid of him for 6-7 million because that was his value. But considering Bologna were offering nearly twice his value, I decided I'd better, just get rid at the time. Again, high earner for a backup player, so we did let him go. But then the biggest one, and this might bring a tear to a few people's hearts. Roberto Pereira has left. He's left Aston Villa for £28 million to Roma. It's always a tough one because he is such a good player, but it was time to go. And I think at that money, at that age, for that player, 28 million was a good piece of business. Like, you're looking at the loss of 5 million from Santon. We gained 28 million on this guy. We brought him in for nothing on a free transfer, released by Udinese. Absolute fools. We've had him for 6 full seasons. Well, no, 5.5, because he came in January. But then we had him for 5.5 seasons from then, and he's just been superb. Unfortunately, last year, really, I thought was a bit of a decline for his standards. Only 6 goals and 9 assists. A 7.1 rating overall, which isn't too bad, but it just didn't feel the same old Roberto Pereira. It felt like the age was catching up on him. And when 28 million comes knocking on your door for a 30-year-old, pretty much no matter who the player is, unless it's like Messi or something or Ronaldo, you're going to accept that sort of money for that sort of a player. Also another high earner, and he was also on a match highest earner clause, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, because it really kind of prevented us from bringing in really big wages, because he then just matched them. But I think he's on 99 grand a week at us, so he's taken a little bit of a pay cut even to go to 84 grand a week. But nonetheless, he will be missed, but I think it was time for him to move on. Anyway, coming in, we only have 4 guys. The first one being Wellington, who you might have seen. I think I showed you guys this 2 or 3 seasons ago, because it was wrapped up 2 or 3 seasons ago when he was 16, I think. But we had to wait till he was 18, of course, as per rules with the Brazilian system. He comes from Ponte Preta. I can't say I've heard of these guys. They're in the Copa Sudamericana, though. They seem to only be in the 2nd division, though. We bought him for 1.8 million. He's already gone out on loan to OGC Nice in Liga, so he's getting some first team football in the French national division. He looks a really good striker, I have to say. He's got good finishing. Composure could do with work, but off the ball is very good. Teamwork as well up there. Determination not too bad. Very good physicals. Professional player. He's got this huge name. Wellington Ferreira de Sousa de Oliveira. That's his name, but we'll call him Wellington instead. He looks a really handy player, though, for the future, and hopefully he'll grow into the player that he should become. Yeah, the replacement. Roberto Pereira left. We had to bring in a replacement, though, for him, and we've done so in the form of Ross Barkley. You heard it right. Ross Barkley is an Aston Villa player. 5.25 million may seem an absolute steal, and I'm telling you, it is a steal. So this is what happened to Ross Barkley. He started at Everton, because he plays for Everton. Has a few seasons there. He goes to Chelsea for £18 million. Is kind of in their first team, but then leaves on an exchange deal to Man U. I'm not sure exactly who he exchanged with, but Man U didn't really use him. He was a bit of a bit part player for them, and we've cashed in. Well, they've cashed in, and we've gone for 5.25 million, which I think is a really good deal. He's only on 81 grand a week, so he is on less than Pereira, and he's 3 years younger. He's 27 now, but he just looks a really good player. I don't know where exactly I'll play him. I think I might be playing him in the midfield today. as an advanced playmaker support. As you can see, he's just tailor-made for that sort of a position. First touch 17, passing 15, technique 16, composure 15, decision 13, flair 15, teamwork 12, vision 17. So and a rock solid physicals, which mean that he's like really just ideal for that sort of role. As you can see, he's already worth 16.25 million, so he's already tripled in value since we've signed him, and that's rightly so because he's an absolute animal. And I think 5.25 million could end up being an absolute steal for him. Next man in was a bit of experience, because Jordan Sakori went. We were a little light at centre back. We had to increase it with the buying of Neven Subotic for 1.2 million. I think again from Chelsea. Who they signed from Dortmund for 8.75 million. Like, he's been a first teamer for them all the time, but obviously because of his age and because he's a fairly high earner, like he's fairly high earner even with us now, they decided to get rid of him for a pretty cheap price. As you can see, like, he's not, like, physically he's not the player that he probably once was, but still he'll do a job as a central defender. I don't think he'll be a first teamer. I'm not sure about that though, but like, he's got 15 heading, 20 marking, 17 tackling. Decent mentals, so he might be able to tutor somebody like Manfred Götze through the ranks. And even his pace is 15, just his acceleration is 10, which is quite worrying. He is on 100 grand a week, so he is our top earner, I think, now. And by a bit of a distance, the next one might even actually be Barkley. So 2 new signings are the 2 highest earners. But he's a rock-solid defender. He's still, as you can see, leading player for most Premier Division sides. Plenty of international experience, highly reliable player, doesn't often let opponents get past him. This is all good stuff. You know, he's rated as our 3rd central defender, which is probably around right, and that's where he'll probably be used. And lastly, we have John Afolabi for 3.5 million from Lazio. Now, this guy was brought in really as a backup player. He's 21 years old though, so I suppose there's a bit of potential within him. He's 2-star current ability and 2-star potential, but he has one of those black stars, so he could become a 3-star player, which is what we're hopefully looking for. He's a good player for most Premier Division sides at the moment. He's really been brought in, even though he can play centre half. He's been brought in as the backup for Andrew Robertson because of Santon leaving. And I think he's a much better option than Santon was. You know, he's defensively really quite good, physically very good. Attacking wise, he mightn't possess the same sort of threat, but because he's also a centre back, he kind of doubles up as a centre back, so he's not really that sort of a player. But nonetheless, he really looks quite good, and hopefully he can put in some decent performance when called upon. Again, as I said before, he's not going to be a first teamer. He's really the backup for Andrew Robertson this year. But because of these deals, our finances are doing actually quite well. We've got 58 million in the bank, and we're projected to make another 30 million to end up this season with 88 million. Now, usually that does not pan out, but hopefully we'll still have a lot of money in the bank by the end of this year. And if we can try and make a push for the Champions League, that should help the financial situation even more. As you can see here, like, we've still got 20 million in the transfer kitty. So if like a really good move comes or becomes available to us, we will be looking to exercise it, because that's exactly what we need. Well, I just don't know where to actually strengthen. Should we get another midfielder? Do we need another striker? I'm not quite so sure. Maybe if you guys leave in the comments what you guys personally think the squad was lacking last year, that hasn't really already been covered, like the fact that Barkley's come in for Pereira, so we don't need to actually replace Pereira anymore because we have brought in Barkley. Anyway, in terms of some of the existing members of the squad and how they've developed, I suppose, over this over the summer, and I've actually just realised I haven't picked my team for this match, because that's not the team I'm going for. So you're going to actually see this is the first, I think, on my channel where I'm actually going to select the team live. As we do this, we'll probably go through the squad. So Timo Horn's still going to get the nod in goal. Just in front of Alderalino, who still is developing nicely, and at some stage, probably in the fairly near future, he will overtake Horn in nets. we're going to have Balanta at centre half with Para. And we're going to have Robertson. Where is Robertson? There he is at left back. Who are we going to have in the middle? Barkley's going to be in the middle with Tielemans or Bravo. Let's give Tielemans a run out, actually. Grealish is going to be on the left as per usual. Saiby's going to be behind the striker and Robbie Byrne on the right. We will be looking to use the likes of Cow, still don't know how to pronounce his name, but this guy more frequently this year. We're going to give Bonazzoli the start to start us off this year because he did so well at the end of last year. And at right back, we're going to make a slightly bold decision and start Stephen Bradbury. I've really got it in my mind this year that this is the year for Bradbury to really break into the first team, and I'm hoping that he will. And will pass with flying colours. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't. And hopefully he can. Replacing Gino Peruzzi, who's still there, I suppose, in decent backup. In terms of some of the other youngsters, we've got Matthias Meyer now. I've bumped him up to the first team for pre-season. He might go back into the under-21s at some stage. He looks to be improving reasonably well. Of course, we brought him in a fair few years ago for 1.8 million from Leipzig. Still could become a good Premier Division defensive midfielder, which is all good. Yuri Tielemans, who we're giving a start to today. He's got a slight concern because he didn't play a lot of games in the... Like, he hasn't played a lot of games since arriving, but like, I really do think we need to make sure he doesn't stagnate even more, because he really is a fantastic player, and we've got to exercise this opportunity whilst we can. Robbie Byrne, he hasn't really improved too much. Like, my worry with Byrne is at some stage he's going to completely flatline. Like his first season was fantastic, and actually last year, considering like so many people, disappoint on second season. Second season syndrome. That's what it's called. He didn't really he wasn't quite as good, but he still was quite consistent. So I'm hoping though he doesn't just flatline, but I fear he will because of these woeful technical stats. Like, they gotta get better, really, if he's gonna do anything at a really top level. Some of the other young guys, this guy Kauko, not quite sure how to say it still. He looks a really good left winger. I will be looking to use him a lot more this year. Possibly bring Grealish over to the right, something along those lines. Maxi Meyer, he's gonna start on the bench today, isn't he? Yeah, I think I'll give Byrne just a shout instead of him just for now. Lucas Mendes, hopefully he'll improve at some stage. I just don't see it because he still hasn't scored a goal for the club within 2 seasons. And we've given him a fair amount of starts and appearances off the bench, but he still hasn't done it. Hopefully he will at some stage this year, though. Let's get the assistants to pick the bench, see what he's going for. Alderalino, Subtic, Cleverly, Boye, Peruzzi, Bravo, Meyer. That seems fairly spot on if you're asking me. We might chuck in Afalabi for Peruzzi. Or should we? Oh, I don't know. Actually, no, we'll keep it as so. Do we have any better midfielder? I think Paulinho in for Cleverly. And that's all we're going to do, I think. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to do. So, we might head into the game now that this is all ready. The fitness seems to be okay. So let's go into it. It looks like they might be playing the same sort of formation. I'll quickly browse through pre-season, actually. I don't really ever take much. I do play pre-season, but I never really think it's quite that important. We lost 1-0 to Barcelona. It was a decent performance though. We beat Lokeren 3-2, beat Cercle Bruges 6-1, beat STVV 5-2, beat Oxford 4-1, beat Chester 3-0, and lost to Anderlecht 5-4. Which is a bit of a shocker from the defence, but hopefully we won't take that into today's game against Spurs. I'm quite excited about this year, actually. I think we've made nice little changes to the squad, which hopefully can push the team forward. Of course, now we'll lose 2 or 3-0 to Spurs, which would be ideal. And they've actually not gone for the tactic they were meant to at all, and they've gone for quite a defensive formation, 4-1-4-1. So that's a bit of an odd one from Spurs. They're not usually that sort of a team. They usually kind of come at you a little more, a bit more possession-based sort of style, but not this time round. Anyway, we'll start off the game, and it is going far too fast. We need... Oh yeah, I think that I was doing that in pre-season, so that was the reason why it's going so fast. Here's Kirkez. And we've got a highlight already now. Lamela. Outside to Walker, inside. Balanta heads it away. Tielemans can take it down now. Bonazzoli. A nice little turn. Finds Saibi now. Can he find Robbie Byrne? Oh, a little reverse pass to Grealish. And that was a good save by Hugo Lloris in nets. Still 0-0 here. Bruno Fernandes finds Lamela now. Lamela could go all the way. Oh, and he has, but it's gone well over the bar. Nothing to really be worried about from Lamela. So early chances for both teams, though. Here's Saibi now. Will he just go on a mazy run? No, finds Bonazzoli inside to Grealish, and it's a good save. Another chance for Jack Grealish. He's already spurned 2 opportunities in the first 10 minutes of this new year, or new season even. Just disappointing. He's usually a lot better than that in finishing, but Bonazzoli in over the top from Timo Horn, and Bonazzoli's missed a chance this time round. So we're creating the opportunities, but 3 misses within 3 clear-cut chances that have been missed within the first 10 minutes. Could they come back to haunt us? Here's Tielemans. He's hit the bar. It's gone in off Hugo Lloris. We've got a slice of luck. That's down to Tielemans' great effort, though, which does crack against the bar. It's unlucky for Lloris because it comes back and just hits him on the back, I think, and rolls into the net. You see them happen every now and then. Real disappointing one for Spurs, but it's no more than we deserve from this first 25 minutes or so. We've been well on top. Oh no, Balanta's had an absolute howler, and Timo Horn has to stand big and does so. A big chance for Spurs there after Balanta just let that sail over his head, but it wasn't converted by the Spurs forward. I couldn't catch his name actually, but it's still 1-0 now. It's Novakovic. He must be a regen. Here's Grealish though, trying to make up for his earlier few misses. Back to Balanta. Finds Para now. Out to Bradbury. We haven't seen much of him. Neither have we seen much of Robbie Byrne. But here's his first big run of the year. And that's a fantastic ball in. But Saibi this time is the culprit of not being able to put the ball in the back of the net. And this poor finishing could come back to haunt us in the long run in this game. And Saibi picks up a little bit of a knock there. So we're going to have to monitor that quite closely. We have dominated this first half, though, which is good to see against a decent enough Spurs outfit. They've only had that one chance, which came from a really big slip-up from Balanta, so we can't look too much into that. Hopefully, if he can keep his nerve, we can be okay. They've changed already, as you can see here, to a 4-2-3-1 formation, which is quite interesting. So obviously that defensive tactic just didn't work for them. Will we make a change? Will we take off Saibi? I think we'll give him till the hour. But he does have pretty low fitness. Same with Tielemans, but they've both played actually quite well. Especially Tielemans. Been quite impressed with the way we've been able to dominate the game with him in the centre of midfield. Which is always good to see. That's exactly what I'm looking for this year. Bradbury, that's a reasonably rash tackle from the youngster. You're going to get that, I suppose. Didn't look too bad, though. Shouldn't be a red. No, he just gets warned. It didn't look like a red card offence, even though it was on 2D, so you'd never really know. Oh, God, that was a bit of an odd one. I think it was cleared straight onto a Spurs player and deflected back, and Timo Horn had to be alert. Here finds Grealish, finds Bonazzoli now. Bonazzoli beats a man or two, finds Robbie Byrne, back to Bonazzoli, 2-0! Federico picks up where he left off last year, and we have got a 2-0 lead early on in the second half, a key time to get a goal, and Bonazzoli has served it up with a little bit of good interplay with Robbie Byrne, who gets his first assist of the year. Hopefully it's the first of many to come in terms of goals for Bonazzoli and in terms of assists for Robbie Byrne. They're two of our key players this year, especially Bonazzoli, who's keeping a very good striker in Lucas Boye out of the team. So, like, you got to commend the guy for the way he's been playing at the end of last year, and now he started off this year quite well. We're going to bring in Meyer for Soiby because he is knackered, and we're going to tell Meyer that we have faith in him. He seems deep in thought. Never really understand that one. As Wilfred Zaha comes on for Spurs, he's still knocking around at a fairly big team. And Fodas Nabai on for Bruno Fernandes. It's getting to the stage where we'll nearly be making substitution number 2, I think. But we'll let this highlight pan out before we do so. Of course, we'll have to make a very different change if they manage to get a goal back. But finds Grealish now. Can he feed in Bonazzoli? He certainly can. Bonazzoli, though, cannot produce his second of the game. Good little spot from Jack Grealish around the corner, but Bonazzoli couldn't do the damage in the end. Grealish now, and he's offside there. He's just strayed. So we're going to bring off Yuri Tillmans this time round because he is absolutely knackered, only on 66%, so we're going to bring off Federico Bonazzoli. We're going to leave it for that for now. We'll probably make another sub at around the 80th minute mark. Tillmans has had a really good game though, which I'd like to see. 66% though, you can't take any risks, especially so early on in the year. And we're also going to take off Bonazzoli here as our last sub and bring on Lucas Boye. Tell him there's no pressure. He seems deep in thought. God, they're all philosophising over my team talks. They don't seem to be, like, they're not that inspirational, are they? Here's Meyer now. Maybe a late chance for a third. Grealish finds Meyer. Balanta now. We've just completely controlled this game, which is great to see. Like, against a decent enough Spurs side to just dominate pretty much the whole proceedings. Here's Meyer now, back out to Para. Just taking it easy here. Finds Robbie Byrne. Can he make an inroad? No. Meyer though finds Boye. No, it's tackled, back out to Grealish, inside to Meyer. It's a good save by Hugo Lloris. A slightly worrying little stat there that we've had 5 clear-cut chances and we have taken 0 from 5, which is a little bit disappointing. And Barkley with a great tackle there. That's not even his specialist game, and he's still coming up trumps. And here's Robbie Byrne with a chance. No, Barkley for a chance of a goal on his debut, and he has smashed it straight at Hugo Lloris. That is a terrible effort, because Robbie Byrne had been very unselfish there in pulling the ball back, but Barkley just decided to pass it at the keeper. That's a really disappointing effort, but it looks like that was the last chance. Or are we going to get one more? Robbie Byrne, Boye, he can't get his header on target. Which kind of sums up the game for us, actually. We're a little bit fortunate to get the 2-0 win in the end. Having 6 clear-cut chances, we didn't take any of them because one was an own goal and the other didn't even count as a clear-cut chance because it was just a good strike from Bonazzoli. But nonetheless, we did deserve the 2-0 win and we got it, and we're already up to 2nd place, although it is only the first game of the year, so let's not get too carried away with ourselves. But I'm very happy with that performance. Barkley had a very good... Did he have a good game? I think he did. Yeah, he had a 7.4, I think. Yeah, so that was a really rock solid... what am I trying to say? That was a really rock solid debut from Barkley. Para's... We've had to pay San Lorenzo. Yeah, 525k for the transfer of Para. Must have been one of the clauses in his 5.75 million move. Anyway, I think that will be it for this episode. That was a good performance. If you enjoyed it, actually, I'll firstly tell you when I'll be coming back, and it'll be the Chelsea game. God, that'll be tasty. In between then and now, we do have QPR away. We've Oxford at home in the Cup. That should be fairly straightforward, although our Capital One Cup record is fairly atrocious. Newcastle at home in the league. Cardiff away. Man City at home, and then Liverpool away before Chelsea at home. That really should be a tasty affair. That will be in the next episode. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I'll see you guys later.